my mission in life is to make sure that every child has the nutrition that their growing bodies need, because I was raised by a single disabled mother of 6, and we were raised on welfare and we ate at food banks. And when my mom was actually pregnant with me, she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And that truly changed the way that I think about health and the way that I think about the first 1,000 days and what truly is optimal nutrition for our little ones in that really critical window of life, which is the first 1,000 days, which is the moment a mom becomes pregnant to age 2. And when I realized I was raised on ultra-processed foods, and I wasn't alone, because today, now every child is eating ultra-processed foods at higher rates than we've ever seen before. Almost 75% of their daily calories come from these ultra-processed foods. And that's really because we are busy as parents, and we want to make sure that our little ones have foods to eat and they'll actually eat the foods that we give them. And unfortunately, kids are gravitating towards ultra-processed foods because their brains are becoming addicted and wired to them. And we just live in a busy world where they are convenient and everywhere. And so my goal was, really how do I help my son grow up in a world where even though life is busy, there's products that he can eat that have zero compromise, that are not ultra-processed, that are not made with ultra-processed ingredients, but instead actually have whole, organic, fresh fruits and vegetables and all of these incredible nutrients that his growing bodies need. And so when I was in law school, realizing ultra-processed food and actually how it was made, it really honestly blew my mind, because what happens in ultra-processing is something that's pretty intense. What happens is ultra-processing is typically a few different combinations of high heat or pressure or chemical extraction or manipulation. But essentially, ultra-processed foods are the opposite of whole foods. And so in whole foods, we have natural fats and proteins and fibers and carbs, minerals, vitamins, and these incredible phytonutrients. And when we eat whole foods, our bodies and our little ones are getting this whole food matrix. So they're getting all these amazing nutrients together, delivered together. But unfortunately, over 80% of all products at our grocery store are ultra-processed, and they're also co-manufactured using these high heat, high pressure, and chemical extraction methods. And so these are the products that make up most options on the shelves for our babies. And so sitting in law school, I was already obsessed with eating healthy, obsessed with sprouts and broccoli sprouts, because I was feeling so amazing how they were benefiting my life every day. And so I realized that I probably wouldn't be able to make the change I wanted to see if I stayed an attorney and I tried to change the regulatory system to actually make a difference, to make this world a better place. But I wanted to actually give people the real tools and solutions. So I decided to start a company called FoodNerd. And FoodNerd truly is my life's mission, to end childhood malnutrition, to get rid of these old, super outdated ways of making food and prove that we can have the best of both worlds. We can have shelf-stable, yummy, bite-sized foods that our kids love to eat, but that they deliver 100% of their daily recommended amount of fruits and vegetables, and there's no nutritional loss, and it's full of these incredibly rich compounds that their growing bodies need. So I wanted to create something the opposite of ultra-processing, which at FoodNerd, which by the way was totally my nickname in law school. That's where the name came from. People literally called me a food nerd because I would bring containers of sprouts and sprout salads and my green juices with me to lunch every day. But I felt amazing, and I felt like my body was operating on such efficient fuel, and that's where FoodNerd name came from. But essentially, we do the opposite of ultra processing. We do deep frozen cold processing. And what the amazing thing is that high heat literally destroys nutrients, and it increases harmful compounds called carcinogens, acrylamides, advanced glycation end products. And so there's like a double negative that's going on with ultra processing. It's destroying the good stuff that's in the food that we need, and it's creating really harmful things that we don't want to be eating. And so what we do at FoodNerd is we use cold processing methods that make sure no nutrition is destroyed and we're not creating these really harmful compounds and byproducts. And so what you get at FoodNerd is this whole food matrix completely left intact. And the way that I think about the future of food and how we should be making our babies food based on the actual science of what their body needs for the first 1,000 days of life, that's the way that I wanted to formulate and work with our incredible scientific team to make products that have not only the nutrition that they need, but grow with mom and baby, so that way there's never nutritional gaps in that really critical window of life, the first 1,000 days, because that's when our health as humans is developed and set almost permanently for the rest of our lives. So I created FoodNerd to make better processing, to make better products, but the real thing that I get excited about is what we can do with this. So we can crowd out these ultra processed foods from our little one's diet. We can choose better foods and better nutrients to give our babies. We can formulate better food, but we can also create a company that's built around truly ending childhood malnutrition, which means that when somebody is giving their family and their little ones incredible food, it also gives back to families in need. And so at FoodNerd, I want to create this incredible give back program where for products that are purchased, we take a percentage of that and we give back to children in need. And just one bag has 100% of their daily recommended amount of fruits, vegetables, and has incredible amount of protein, fat, fiber, minerals, vitamins, and phytonutrients. So when the little ones are eating this, most of the time, children that are in need who don't have access to all the food that they need, their growing bodies need complete whole food, so that way they can actually have the optimal nutrition that they need. But being able to deliver it in a shelf-stable, almost weightless form means that we can actually give back to food banks and find where these children are, how we can help them, and actually start to end childhood malnutrition right here in our local neighborhoods in the US. So I'm really proud to say that this month was the first month that we were able to do that, because we just launched, and now just this week we gave over 900 days of daily recommended amount of fruits and vegetables to children, actually at the same food banks that I grew up eating back. So this is incredibly important to me and my family and my team. But as we grow and as we scale, I want to build this ecosystem of this is built for all children, and how can we grow and help more families together, because every single parent wants the best for their children and every other child. Nutritional equality for every child has always been a goal of mine. Experiencing that firsthand and realizing that if a little one doesn't have what they need, how can we expect them to go to school that day and absolutely thrive? They're starting not on a level playing field, and these nutritional, inequalities throughout our children is going to have a major impact on the rest of their lives. And so at FoodNerd, our mission is to try to rethink the way that we make our babies' food, the way we formulate it, the way we test it, and the way that we create an equitable future for what the future of food should be. Which is really getting rid of malnutrition issues. And we're going to start right here in the US. And I'm so grateful for everybody that is part of the FoodNerd family or joins the FoodNerd family, because it's not just something that's going to happen overnight, but it's going to take a group of us parents all working together to set the future up for our babies.